Greetings and welcome to the Beauty Out of Ma channel. I'm Reverend Dr. Fidel Adabaraza, also known as Mama Rosiela Miracle, and I'm so glad that you're here. And if this conversation speaks to you, kindly like, subscribe, and share it with a parent, a caregiver, a teacher, or any other member of the community or the society who may need this encouragement today. Now, in our first lesson, we reflected on the child before the label. Today, I want us to take one step back and talk about the stage that often comes before the label, before the diagnosis, before the report, and sometimes even before anyone else believes that there is a concern. And today, we look at a topic I've titled, When You First Notice Something is Different, from concern to clarity. For many parents, the journey does not begin with a diagnosis. It begins with a feeling, a quiet concern, a delayed milestone, a child who is not sitting, who is not walking, speaking, feeding, responding, playing, learning, or doing things the way they are expected. Sometimes the parent notices first, and sometimes a teacher notices at school first. Sometimes a doctor raises a concern, and sometimes a family member sees it, but is afraid to say it. And sometimes the parent sees it clearly, but everyone around them keeps saying, do not worry, children develop differently. And yes, children do develop differently. Not every delay means that there is a disorder. Not every difference means that there is a diagnosis. Not every concern should be handled with panic or fear. But a parent's concern should never be dismissed carelessly altogether. Sometimes early concern is not fear. Sometimes it is love paying attention. And when a parent says, I think something may be different, that parent is not rejecting the child. That parent is not speaking negatively. That parent is not lacking faith. That parent is saying, I want to understand my child better. I want to support my child earlier. I want to give my child the best chance possible. And that is why early identification matters. Not because we want to label children quickly or carelessly, but because support delayed can become opportunity delayed. And a child who needs speech therapy should not wait for years because people fear assessment. A child with sensory difficulties should not be pushed repeatedly for behaviors that may actually be signs of overwhelm. A child with learning difficulties should not be called lazy when the real issue may be how the brain processes information. And a child with delayed milestones should not be hidden in shame when early intervention could make a meaningful difference. The earlier we understand a child's struggles and needs, the earlier we can respond with wisdom and appropriately. But let us also be honest, moving from concern to clarity is not always easy, and in many African families and communities, developmental concerns are still surrounded by fear, denial, stigma, silence. And some parents are told, stop confessing negatively. Others are told, there's nothing wrong, you are overthinking. And some are blamed, some are told to discipline the child more, some are pushed from one opinion to another without proper assessment, proper guidance, or support. And while everyone else is speaking, the parent is carrying the weight. The parent is carrying the questions. The parent is carrying the fear of the future. And the parent is carrying the pressure of family expectations. The parent is carrying the confusion of not knowing where to begin. And this is why we must create safe spaces for parents to speak honestly about developmental concerns without being shamed, because the space between noticing and knowing can be emotionally heavy. You know something about your child, and yet you know whatever it is different, and you don't know how to tell people about it. You want answers, but you may be afraid of what the answers may mean. You want people to understand, but sometimes even those close to you do not see what you see. And in that season, the first gift we can offer parents is not judgment, it is listening. Not you are exaggerating, not your child is just stubborn, not you're spoiling the child, not you're speaking negatively. But you see, tell me what you have noticed. How long has this been happening? What support have you received so far? Would you like help finding someone who can guide you? How can we walk with you? Now, those kinds of questions open a door to hope. And many parents are not asking for pity. They are actually asking for direction. They want to know, where do I begin? Do I see a doctor? Do I speak to a therapist? Do I talk to the school? Do I request an assessment? Do I observe longer? Do I involve the family? Do I keep quiet? Do I act? And many questions, do I? And so to many of those parents, I want to say this. Begin with observation, not panic. Observe your child carefully. Write down what you notice. Pay attention to speech, to movement, to feeding, to play, to learning, to eye contact, to attention, to sensory responses, sleep patterns, behavior, emotional regulation, and all those things. And then journal and keep records where possible. When a teacher raises concern, listen before becoming defensive. Ask for examples, ask what has been observed, ask what support may help. And when a professional raises concerns, ask for clarity, ask what the next step should be, and ask what services may be available. And remember this, assessment is not an insult. It is okay to assess. From the assessment, we are able to get help. Assessment is a tool for understanding. A diagnosis where one is given is not the end of your child's story. It is information that can help guide, support, and the next steps that are necessary for the child. But I also want to acknowledge something tender. Even when a parent suspected something wrong, receiving confirmation can still shake the heart. And so you may feel relief because now you have a name. You may feel grief because the name makes it real. You may feel fear because the future feels uncertain. You may feel guilt and wonder whether you missed something, or you may feel overwhelmed by appointments, therapy plans, school decisions, reports, and financial demands. But all those emotions are valid. So parents should not be rushed through their emotions. Some need time to process, some need to cry, some need information, some need counseling, and some need to meet other parents. And all that is okay because they need practical guidance. And some simply need reassurance that their child is still their child, because this is the truth. A diagnosis may explain a need, but it does not erase the child. And so your child is still your child, still beautiful, still worthy, still loved, still deserving of support, still carrying possibilities that may unfold differently, slowly, unexpectedly, but meaningfully. And to the family members, please do not dismiss parents' concerns too quickly. Sometimes the mother has seen what others have not seen. And sometimes the father is worried but silent. Sometimes the caregiver is exhausted from noticing things everyone else is denying. And teachers, when you notice developmental or learning concerns, speak with kindness. Parents are human beings processing emotions. And also parents, remember now that you have been told any careless sentence can wound deeply. And so therefore, just be all of us, wherever we are, let us mind how we engage and we talk about all this. Prayer is important, but prayer should not, again, replace understanding, referral, professional guidance, and compassionate accompaniment. All those are needed. So for pastors, embrace and pray, but allow again the parents and guide them to go to professionals for help. The child does not need shame. The parent does not need blame. The family does not need whispers. They need guidance, patience and support and hope. And at Beauty Out of Mire, we believe parents should not have to walk this journey in confusion and isolation. Families need assessment pathways, and they need professionals to be able to explain things with compassion. They need schools that listen. They need churches that do not shame. And they need relatives who stop blaming. They need communities that understand that early support can change a child's developmental pathway. So let us hold our hands together and walk this journey together. Let us learn to be one another's keeper. God bless you, and until next time, keep it Beauty Out of Mire. Like, subscribe, and share with other people that need this conversation. God bless you.